What's up? It is Adam the Movie Guy. Thank you so much for joining the channel today. So my goal for the end of the year is to hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. And if there's any movie related video that you'd like to see, leave it down in the comments. I'll react to trailers. Today I'm going to do something brand new. I'm going to go over 10 movies that I think everybody should watch at least one in their life. Not in a particular order, just going over. I couldn't come up with an order because all these movies I think are great. But anyway, let's get it started. Starting off at number 1, we got Shawshank Redemption. One of the best movies ever made. It's narrated by Morgan Freeman, so just off the bat right there is telling you kind of all you need to know. The storytelling's amazing, the twist, the acting. And on IMDb, I think it has a 9.3 rating. It's one of the better movies made of all time, and it is in my top 5 personally as well. Next up, we got Lord of the Rings. A lot of people talk about books to movies, always saying the books are better than the movies, and in this case the movies are just as good if not better than the books. Everybody who likes the books says that the movies, I mean, obviously there's a lot of things from the books that don't translate to the movies, but they stay true to it. It keeps that vision that Tolkien had when he wrote it. Peter Jackson directed it. What I like about these movies is the cinematography is great. They shot on site in New Zealand. The actors that they chose, the casting was absolutely amazing. Everybody needs to at least see the first one. There are 3 of them, but on this list I only have the first one, The Fellowship of the Ring. Next up, we have Star Wars. Everybody kind of hates Star Wars, so I'm just going to go with the original trilogy on this one. I feel like everybody needs to at least watch it once, even if you don't like it or don't think you will. It is such an iconic franchise that everybody knows about, even if you have not watched it. The opening credits, the score, the lightsabers, Jedi, everybody knows about it. You have to watch it at least once. Next up, we got Forrest Gump. This is just a classic movie. Tom Hanks does amazing with it. Honestly, I have not seen it in a while, but I watched it a few times when I was a bit younger, and this movie is just front to back amazing. If you have not seen it, check it out. It's just another one that you have to see. Next up, we have Fight Club. I've only seen this one once, but I feel like everybody needs to see it. I feel it kind of changed the game a little bit with twist. So, spoiler alert, at the very end, you realize that Brad Pitt's character was not there the whole time, and I feel like a lot of people are starting to do that as well. They might have done it before, I just didn't realize, but I know they did it with the Joker, kind of did it. Others as well, and honestly, I'm blanking right now, but I feel like Fight Club was like the OG, just great movie front to back, and then the ending just makes it that much better. Next up, we have Batman The Dark Knight, and the reason this is on the list, I don't really care for Batman Begins or The Dark Knight Rises, but Heath Ledger as the Joker, one of the top performances of all time. If you don't like Batman, watch this movie just for Heath Ledger as the Joker. Is my favorite performance of all time. It's got to be one of the best performances of all time. It is that good, and honestly, the movie is great as well. Next up, we have The Truman Show. This one came out in the 90s, has Jim Carrey and Ed Helms. I like this movie because it's just unique. There's not a lot of things like it. This guy was born in this huge dome that he thinks he lives on an island, and he's on a TV show that everybody knows about except for him. And he's starting to get kind of clues of it starting to be a TV show, I guess, and he starts finding things kind of wrong and weird. But this movie's just unique. It is great. Jim Carrey in a dramatic role. It's not a comedy, but I mean, there's still some funny points, but this movie is just amazing. You have to check it out at least once. Next up, we have the The Breakfast Club. This movie has a good message along with it's just another one of those classics. I remember watching it in 9th grade. I loved it. I own it on DVD. I watch it every once in a while. If it's on TV, I'll watch it. And every time I watch it, I forget how good it actually is. It is a good story, though, about a lot of different people coming together and realizing, even though they don't think they're alike, they have more in common than what they originally believed. And I thought that was a great message. Everybody needs to see this one at least once. So we got 2 more. Next up, we have 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Once again, you can't go wrong with Morgan Freeman. This is from the 90s. I thought the storytelling to this one is amazing as well. I'm going with the 7 Sins, and I don't want to give away the ending, but I thought the ending was just like a chef's kiss, I guess. I thought it just ended. the storytelling was great, and then it just ended really well. And once again, this has a very famous scene. If you ever heard "What's in the Box," that is where this comes from, with Brad Pitt. I will admit it. I think there's a couple parts of that that are a little awkward and cringe, but overall, this movie is amazing. And the very last one is a Disney movie. I had to put Disney in it somewhere since I'm a big Disney fan, but one of the best Disney movies ever made, and not even just best Disney, one of the best animated movies ever made, The Lion King. This movie is so iconic, from the original, or not the original, the opening score, the opening scene, song, all the songs, Just Can't Wait to Be King, oh my gosh, now I'm blanking, Circle of Life, Hakuna Matata. They're just such classics that everybody needs to watch it at least once. Even if you do not like Disney, don't like animated, you have to watch The Lion King. And if you have a chance to see it on Broadway or when it goes on tour, I definitely recommend that as well. But I'll just put this on because it's the best animated, one of the best animated ever made, and then just the opening scene of that movie is amazing. But that is my list of the top 10, the top 10 movies that I think everybody should watch at least once, no particular order. My next list probably will be just my top favorite movies of all time. Some of these, a lot of these will actually probably be on it as well. There are a few of them. But if you like what you saw, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave down in the comments if you think I left any movies off that everybody should watch. And without further ado, peace.